We're at Wildwood Baseball Park, where tonight the Golden Raiders take on state-ranked Preble, and they're in first place with a 15-0 record. Matter of fact, they're undefeated for the season. Like I said, they're number 3 in state. North comes in with a conference record of 8-8. They got a 6 seed for the WIA tournament and will be hosting Slinger on May 30th. All of that coming up. And I do have a partner tonight. Garrett Rivest is a former North High player and presently is helping out over at Concordia University, Wisconsin, down in Mequon. He recently graduated exercise science and coaching as a minor. Garrett, tell us a little more about yourself. Well, when did you graduate North?
I graduated in 2013, so 4 years ago. Went by real fast and got through college and was looking forward to play 2 years there. Stopped my junior year and coached senior year. Was asked for my minor and then got asked in the spring to coach. So I was a bench coach on the varsity team for Concordia, and great experience, and home for the summer now.
And you did a little bit of coaching in the Legion level too, didn't you?
Yep.
Here in Sheboygan?
Coach with Chris Wright's son, Tommy Wright, a former player too that I graduated with, and 1 year on the freshman team, 2 years on JV as assistant, and then this year I'll be going back again as an assistant. So looking forward to that.
Let's see if we can go to the PA announcer, and she's going to go through the starting lineups for tonight's game.
Jared. So, batting in the 4th spot is the catcher, number 34, Jaden Herron. Batting 5th will be the pitcher, number 2, Will Hoonard. Batting 6th, wearing number 30, will be first baseman, Sean Lofstein. Batting in the 7th spot, shortstop, number 8, Griffin Summers. Batting 8th, left fielder, number 11, Matt Howard Stein. Batting 9th will be right fielder, number 21, Zach Rainier. For the Golden Raiders of Sheboygan North, leading off, shortstop will be number 11, Dylan Lindow. Batting in the 2 spot, wearing number 2, second baseman, Brent Witter. Batting third baseman, number 15, Jacob Nazy. Batting 4th, wearing number 27, left fielder, Nicholas Eskalevich. Batting in the 5 spot, playing first base, number 1, Weston Yerk. Batting 6th, center fielder, number 12, Ben Miller. Batting 7th, on the mound, number 6, Jackson Pottas. Batting in the 8th spot will be the designated hitter, number 44, Brendan Horton. Playing right field, number 10, Ryan Yeager. Batting 9th, doing the catching, number 4, Eric Johnson.
Now we're going to have our national anthem. We are just about ready to get the ball game started. Pottas will take his 8 warm-ups, and then we'll send that first Preble hitter up to the plate. North is coached by Chris Wright. He's been at the helm for, I believe, about 25, 26 years. He's been in the program for around 30. Andy Kunert is the coach for Preble, and he's been coaching in the Green Bay area for many years. Garrett, what do you know about Andy?
I know when I played, he was at Notre Dame for a couple of years on the varsity coach, and I also believe he's with the Green Bay Shockers Legion team before he became the Preble, which I know at Preble is also, I think, part of the same Legion program this summer, so he probably wanted to take over.
Coaches in the high school level that coach at the Legion level run into an issue if they have players from their high school on the team? Is that allowed?
Yeah, I think you can have that. I don't know if that's usually you want to stay with the same coach the entire time as a player, so they gain different experiences from different coaches, obviously. But he's a great coach. I've talked to him a couple times throughout when I coached in Legion, also talked to him a couple times. So he's a great guy, great coach.
I liked Andy because he didn't yell at the umpires too much anyway. I wanted to do another announcement, Garrett. This is off into the future, doesn't happen until August 22nd. But on that date, August 22nd, they're going to have a pro day here at Wildwood Park. And what that involves is they're going to have somewhere around 5 to 7 college coaches observe different high school players as they're put through their paces and have a shot at maybe getting invited into a college program. It sounds like kind of a good deal. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, I've never heard of that before, knowing...
They have a poster on down by the concession stand. I think Denny Hare, who actually is in the A's organization, kind of set this all up. All right, we're set to go. Hottest in the windup and throws a strike. Max Wagner, the third baseman, is the leadoff hitter. That pitch is fouled back. Wagner's hitting .379 with an on-base percentage of over 500. That's pretty outstanding. I want to thank the coaching staff for Preble for getting us some stats for tonight's game to offer up, and to Chris Wright, who put together some current stats for us to use. I think he's got them in order too. Follows right down the batting order. That pitch evens the count at 2-2. We're just starting off the ball game. Jackson Pottis is probably North's best pitcher. Wagner fouls that one back. These two teams played up in Green Bay on Tuesday. I never caught who did the pitching for Preble, but whoever it was, they shut out North by a score of 5-0, and they are going to win the conference. There's one more week left of conference play. I mentioned that Preble is 15-0 in the league. They have 3 more games left, including tonight's game.
We'll see if Pothis could have a good game. He's a 2.4 ERA on the year. Pretty good. 1.3 for a record doesn't show much, but 39 punch outs and only 29 walks. So see if he could upset here in the Bruin at Wildwood.
Right. Full count to Wagner. Pitch is a little bit outside, and he gets on a lot, and he got on right there. Next hitter is Taylor Bagnevsky. He steps in hitting .264, but has 6 doubles. That's pretty good. Wagner stealing on the first pitch, and he's in there. Wasting no time, Garrett.
Yeah, leadoff hitter, you know, want to get that speed on, and definitely with Andy, you know, he's up to a lot on the bases. He has a lot of trickery plays and a lot of stuff you got to cover as a team coming in. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Getting early on the scoreboard here, too. See if we can punch him across.
Bagnevsky took that first pitch for a ball. He bunts that one down the third base line, and he's going to beat it out for a hit. And that puts runners on first and third and nobody out, and North in a bit of a jam.
See if Potts could get some quality strikes throw ahead here, especially in a 3-batter. Get a little ground ball, sacrifice that run early, but get the 2 outs here.
Right. Jared Shilk is up. He is hitting .339. Shilk, number 3 hitter. That was a good move by Pottis, trying to keep the runner close. You got to, if the first batter stole on the first pitch, you got to figure he's going to be going early in the count too.
Yeah, as a lefty, he has to take advantage of that move. I know he's granted a big guy, a lot of moving parts to that, but you got to keep him close in the bases here. Responsibility is a big pitcher like that.
The other thing, it's hard for the umpires to call a balk because of the position they're in this 2-man system. And Bagneski goes on the first pitch to the hitter, steals second base. Preble now with runners on second and third and nobody out. Shilk playing out in center field.
Sitting fastball here, probably get a punch run across. 2-0, good 3-hitter. Oh, losing it.
Hey Garrett, what do you think of that rule this year with the WIA counting pitches to determine rest for pitchers?
I definitely thought that was a smart move on their part, keeping a lot of arms safe. I know as a player, former player and a coach, that you can see a lot of pitch count on a high school athlete, which you don't even want, at a collegiate level even. We don't even see guys roughly, we keep them around maybe 85, 90 in our system that we had, and roughly over 100 if that, unless they're on an absolute roll. But completely like it. I know you're going to, as a high school, you don't have a lot of arms to deal with.
In the colleges, though, they don't have that kind of a system for rest.
Not so much, but we have plenty of arms there too on staff where you don't have to worry about that compared to a high school team, which might only have 5 or 6 pitchers that at least have experience, which has problems. Which I know a lot of teams in the MPS are going to have problems with that. They only have 14, 15 guys on a whole roster of a team. So
next up with the base, sorry for cutting you off, is Jaden Adrians. He's steps in hitting .270. But he does have 6 doubles. Good hitter. It's always a little easier to get nobody out. You know the pitcher has to come in there. Pitch rides outside. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Adrians. And we get a timeout. Coach Schmidt's coming out. Give some words of wisdom. What's he doing wrong? Because most of his pitches are riding outside.
It's a good question. I wasn't too much in the pitching. I'm going to say he's falling off a little bit too, and his tilt to his shoulder looked like a little bit also, but he's just got to trust his stuff and trust his defense behind him that they're going to be making plays and throw a good quality strike here despite the situation that he's in.
That's I've been a pitch counter for North this year, so I've seen him play frequently, and I think one of the strengths of Chris's team is the ability to field the ball for the most part.
Yeah, I've coached, I want to say maybe half these guys over the years, and a lot of defense. That was our strong suit.
A tailor-made double play, and Lindau does it. 6-3, getting a force out at second. And then throwing on to first. So 1 run scores, not too bad. They can get this third out. Only, if you get the bases loaded and nobody out and they only score 1 run, that's almost like a win.
A little bit of a lifesaver early on the game here.
Really. Next up is Will Cunard. Will takes that first pitch for a ball. Will is at the top of the list. Garrett. He's hitting .434 on the year. He's got 6 doubles also. No triples or homers, however.
Contact hitter. It's a good velo on him. Big velo. Let's see if he can easy ground ball, get out of the inning.
Pitch is outside for ball 3. We have Matty Pfister running this camera, Sergey Molitor along the first base side. Eric Weisman is running graphics tonight, and our director coming in from the cold, Scott Maloff. And Garrett is baptism under fire. I want to say thank you for helping me out. Really appreciate you stepping in.
Oh, no problem. I mean, I'm at the game. Might as well help out a little bit here.
Nothing better to do, right?
Exactly.
By the way, Garrett also wrote down the lineups in the scorebook for me, and I really appreciate that too. It's hard to get good help. Trust me, I need it. Full count. Ball hit slowly to Weston Yerk, and he makes the unassisted putout. And after 1/2 inning of play, Preble 1, North coming to bat.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
I think this is going to be batters again. Huh. Thought I had it somewhere. We took a picture of it. Here we go. This was it. Cunard is that white line. His ERA is 2.56. See it there?
Yeah.
We were going over the Preble stats, trying to find Cunard's ERA. It's 2.56. And we got the record off. He doesn't have any losses, but that could be because the team doesn't have any losses.
That helps. A little bit of offense production. Did walk a lot of guys. Did have a lot of strikeouts, though, so he probably has a high pitch count.
Right. 27 innings. He's got 26 walks, but also, like you said, strikeouts are high at 45. Stepping in for North is Dylan Lindow. He's a senior. He's thinking about going to UW La Crosse. He steps in hitting .301 on the season, has a couple of doubles. He's a good one.
Yeah, good shortstop came in. Saw him as a sophomore playing. Couldn't believe he is as talented as he is. And I know varsity coach for Legion, Sheboygan Legion, Steve Goes quoted him as the best fielder in Sheboygan County. So smooth hands over there and short.
Right. It's a slow roller to third, and he's out. Next is Brent Witter. Witter's a sophomore. He didn't start the season last year on the varsity, but about halfway through came up. and finished the year. So he's going to be basically a 4-year starter. Steps in hitting .279. Good basketball player too. Kunert brings the heater that time, and Witter didn't have a good rip at it. That evens the count at 1-1. Witter does have 3 doubles. Curveball breaks outside.
Keeping batters off balance earlier is usually you don't want to break through with off speed until second time through the order, but getting really aggressive right here.
Another bouncing ball to third. Throw cost is good. 2 up and 2 down for the Raiders. Max Wagner, the leadoff hitter, is manning third base tonight, this afternoon. That brings up Jacob Nazy. Now, Nazy was a kid. He's only a sophomore, Garrett, and he did start the season on the varsity. So he was up all year last year. He'll be a 4-year starter. That's quite an accomplishment.
Definitely is. Don't see it that much these days, I feel like, especially in our program. Over the years, I think we only had maybe 1 or 2 in my class, if that, but definitely a lot of young talent at North and a lot of upside for the next couple of years. And had the pleasure of coaching Jacob this summer, and guy is just unloaded in talent and as such the highest ceiling in the world, so let's see what he can do.
He's a large part of that good defense that North has. He's really outstanding at third base. Steps in hitting .328, does have 7 doubles and 10 RBIs. He's drawn 8 walks, but that's not a great deal. Swung and missed. Evens the count at 2-2. Preble on top, 1-0. They had the bases loaded with nobody out and scored on a double play ground out, and then Pottis able to get the next hitter.
Little check swing foul ball there. Find it off.
We didn't get the names of our umpires. Garrett, as you've played now with North and at the collegiate level, what do you see as the biggest difference in the umpiring?
I wouldn't say it's a whole lot difference compared to we're in the same area, pulling from the same amount of guys. High school, obviously, you're going to see a little bit less of the officiating, like the level, I guess, what they're at, but at the same time, it's basically the same thing. And it's only Division III, not huge jumps. We're not getting the best umps in the area, but it's still not too bad of a difference, I guess you'd say, compared to a Division III in high school level.
Right. Good answer. All right, at the end of 1, Preble on top, 1-0.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
Back at Wildwood Baseball Park, getting ready to start the second inning. Preble got off to a good start, scoring a run in the top of the first. North not so good in the bottom of the first. 1, 2, 3 hitters went up. Went down in order. You were talking a little bit, Garrett, about Concordia not making the NCAA playoffs. Why don't you talk about that, how it works, and why you guys didn't make it?
Well, we finished 28-13 on the season. Great year. Can barely, I don't know, as a collegiate coach, this last year I coached with the team, and as a player for 2 years, I mean, never see a program's usually around 30 wins not make the tournament, but Our strength of schedule wasn't the greatest. We played a lot of softer teams throughout the year for filler games, and that kind of was our downfall to make the tournament. We were the second to last team in, or out, I should say, out of the picture
yeah.
from us, and then Bethel University in Minnesota. They were the first team out, so.
Yeah, it could have been worse for you guys, I guess.
Yeah, but it was a great year. A little bit disappointing, but nonetheless, good memories from this last year and good experience as being a coach. So can't complain about it.
No, it's well. You said coaching was your minor, right? Sean Logney, by the way, is up for Preble as he steps in. He's hitting 348. But it's like you said, it's a great experience. And how'd you find working with the kids or the players?
It's a different aspect, I guess. They only had 5. Well, yeah, there were 5 seniors this year, so 5 of my classmates that I came and played with throughout the year, so it wasn't too bad. But being able to coach the younger guys and have them look up to you is a good feeling. Got a lot of feedback from the parents when we were our trip to Arizona. I went along with. And
oh, sweet! Where'd you go in Arizona?
We were in Tucson at Keno Sports Complex. That used to be where the White Sox used to play.
All right.
So, but we were there, and for our JV games, I was actually on the first base or on the box coaching. So definitely got some work in there, and good experience for the summer and bring it anywhere else. Basically, a good resume builder too, as the coaching was. So looking forward to the future of seeing what I could do with that and grad school, and we'll see.
My wife and I, over the last probably 10 years plus, we've gone to Arizona for spring training, and who was down there? There was a Wisconsin team down there, and I knew a couple of guys on the team from North, but didn't go to one of their games, and I kind of feel bad about that. I should have. Griffin Summers is up now for the Hornets. He steps in hitting 214. But great weather out there. It'd be a bummer coming back to Wisconsin.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. This year was actually, I think, the best year that we've had for weather. I think it was, 60s by us for the most part. We have the nice park down there at Capco.
Right,
Capco
yeah.
Field, so we have a nice backdrop. We don't get wind, basically, unless it's off the lake. So, and also with the
Is
turf.
that turf field?
It is, turf field, so a lot of heat coming off of it, and a great place to play.
Do you... Now I umpired one year at Whitefish Bay, and they have a turf infield, and then the outfield was grass.
We have full turf.
Full turf,
yep,
okay.
Full turf. Whole different playing compared to playing at Wildwood here, and then making the jump to turf. It's no hops, and then also in the outfield, as being an outfielder, you gotta play the hop, knowing that it's gonna bounce a lot from the turf if you come straight down for a pop fly. So
Ben Miller out in center field makes that play. Wonder where Sal Para is. Matt Carwardine is up next for the Hornets. First pitch is a strike. Oh, he's the one guy that's at the bottom. I mean, he's off the bottom of the list. So we can't give you Carwardine's average right now. Maybe during the half inning I'll look at it and update all the fans on that. So you graduated, got your major and your minor. Now the important question, Garrett, where are you working next year? Do you have a job?
Well,
other than the summer job.
Not so much. I'm planning to go back to school for grad school either this next year or the following year. I want to be a graduate assistant, find a coaching position either in the Midwest or anywhere.
Right.
A lot of the coaching staff from Concordia is helping me.
And that'd be for baseball?
For baseball, obviously, yes. And then, so they're going to be sending me some text, emails, but looking on the NCAA website, too, of trying to find some
we got
openings.
it. Hit that white car driving by. And it just kept right on going.
So, but not sure what I want to do yet. Overall, I want to be hopefully a baseball coach at the collegiate level and also a strength conditioning coach at the same time to go along with my exercise science degree. So,
pop up on the infield. Lindahl waves everybody off and makes the catch. And at the end of an inning and a half, it's still Preble 1, North coming up to bat, trailing by a run.
I guess sometimes things just happen. devastating things. Your whole world changes in an instant. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
Getting ready to start the bottom of the second inning. Preble on top, 1-0. Garrett Rivest, former North High player, helping out tonight, this afternoon for the ball game. We mentioned Preble comes in 15-0 in conference. They're undefeated overall. We don't have their overall record. So they've won the league already. I think the next best team has like 5 losses. So they've already captured the conference crown. And we know that they beat North Tuesday night 5-0. They got to score a run, North does. Crying out loud. It's going on 8 innings without scoring a run against these guys.
To the Golden Raiders is the left fielder, number 27, Nicholas
Askelevich stepping in. He's hitting .338. Does have a home run. 19 RBIs. Leads the ball club. As I've watched the team play over the season, I would venture to say Nick is probably their best, most consistent hitter.
He's a sophomore, right? Or is he a junior?
I think he's a junior.
Definitely helps when you have Lindau get on base and maybe swipe a couple as a leadoff. He's 10-50 on the year, so it's going to help you produce a little bit more runs.
Yep, Nick is a junior. His dad, Kurt, is a Diamonds Club representative to the Sheboygan A's. You get to see Kurt every once in a while at an A's meeting. 3 balls and 1 strike to Nick Askelevich. And he gets hit. And that one hurt, caught him right on the arm. Hey Garrett, were you able to use your, other than the coaching part, your major in exercise science in coaching the baseball team?
Not so much. I wouldn't say. That's more of athletic training. I would say that takes the most part of that. I couldn't really relate my major, I guess, to sports. At least right now, at least the aspect of being able. They have their own strength and conditioning plans or anything like that, so I wouldn't really take part in that.
So you obviously had kinesiology at some point during your schooling?
A little bit, yeah.
Are you kidding me? More than a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right. Because I think as a Phi Ed teacher, I had it once. You know, I don't know if it was it had to be at least a semester class. But I remember one of our projects was to take an exercise skill, like maybe throwing or kicking a football, something like that, and breaking it down to all the different muscles that are used and write a paper on it.
I had to do that was that last year, my junior year, or either last semester for my program design class of literally picking a sport and then design a exercise protocol for your athlete that you picked. So it's a good experience of learning, definitely applicating a lot of different exercises for the type of sport and athlete you have.
That's, I guess, what I was getting at when I asked you about applying what you're learning to maybe a setting on a baseball team. Back to the ball game, Weston Yerk is up. He's hitting .327, and Askelevich goes to second on a pass ball by the Preble catcher. So North in position to possibly tie up the ball game. Yerk has 15 RBIs, so he's a pretty good RBI guy. Swung over a fastball that time. Count is even at 2-2. There are no outs. It's fouled out of play out on the New Jersey Avenue.
Kunar not afraid to shove it inside on these guys. A lot of guys have been able to touch his fastball. So let's see if he can work the count a little bit, get his arm tired by then the last couple innings here. And
that's one thing in my years of umpiring high school baseball, the high school pitchers don't seem to work inside very much. Line drive right to the first baseman who makes the catch. His throw to second is not in time. So we have one out. Ben Miller up. Miller hitting 296. College level, they don't mind working inside, huh?
Not so much, especially with some of the pitchers that we faced this year are pretty good.
Pretty intimidating.
Yeah, some big guys. We played out in California for a weekend series, and the guy was throwing 95, 96 consistently. Big, burly guy, 6'5", 6'6". So
the only thing more scary in that, Garrett, is if he doesn't have control. Pitch on the inside corner, driven out to center field. Catch is made. Askelevich not a speed burner, so he holds at second. Now with 2 outs, Jackson Pottis has a chance to help his own cause. Jackson hitting 185. Does have 12 RBIs. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. With such a low batting, still have that many RBIs.
Shows for his stats average, but definitely getting runs in.
Second baseman is way over before retreating back to the normal second base position. If Jackson can pull the ball, he's got a good chance of driving in Askelevich from second. We didn't mention much about Jackson's pitching prowess. He's has a team-leading 29 innings pitched, given up 25 hits, 21 walks, I think we mentioned. The 39 strikeouts is pretty nice.
Definitely is a big lefty. Your ace would want to be getting a lot of punch outs. Doesn't help your pitch limit, as you know, for the rules this year. It doesn't help a lot, but definitely looks good on the stat sheet.
Pottis takes a curveball for strike 3, and Kunert really had him fooled on that pitch. At the end of 2 complete, Preble still on top, 1-0.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Every game to keep track for it.
I think the recommendation is to have plus Eric, when he's in the game, Charlie pitches his Leading off the top of the third is the leadoff hitter for the Preble Hornets, Max Wagner. Max walked and scored back in the first inning. Takes that first pitch for a strike. We were talking between innings about the change with having to count pitches. Zach Reiner actually is the number 9 hitter is batting here in the third. And the question comes up, well, what if you have a discrepancy? Who's is official? And it's the home team. Nazy, or like the kids like to call him, Nice, makes the play. What are you going with, Garrett? Jacob Nazy or Jacob Nice? Nazy.
I've known him. I've known his family since I was a kid, so it's been Nazy my whole life.
Here's one for you. I was talking to the old man, Kenny,
Yep.
at a game a while back, and he has a younger son that's in grade school. And I said, "Oh, where's your son go to school?" He goes to Kiel.
Yeah.
You know, how can one guy go to North and the other guy go to Kiel? Why aren't they both going to Kiel or both going to Sheboygan schools? They live out in the Holy Land somewhere?
Yep. I actually had that conversation with was it 2 summer? Yeah, I think it was either last summer or 2 summer when I was coaching. And obviously Kiel's not going to be playing competitive teams or the conference, at least compared to what North would be. So he wanted to make the decision of driving every day
all right,
to make the change of being able to play a little bit more competitive baseball.
Now you live, you're from Cleveland?
No, I'm from Sheboygan.
Okay, all right. You're not a Cleveland boy.
Nope.
Pitch goes outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Wagner. And where'd you go to grade school?
I went to James Madison.
Okay, that's fine.
A little bit on the south side, but I live on the
Did you have Mr.
border.
Shibley as your gym teacher?
I did. I was, I think I had him for a year or 2. That was like his first year there.
Right, yeah.
When I was leaving 5th grade, so.
Yeah, he's a young guy. You're an old guy.
Yeah.
How about, nice running catch by Miller out in center field. I can't think of his name. The 5th grade teacher, Jim. Schwalbe. You have him?
I had him for a class or 2, but usually I think her name now is Miss Spraylick. She got remarried when I was there. Schneider was her last name.
Okay. I subbed over there, I think it was more or less a half a day for Jim. He had some meetings to go to in the afternoon, and I think that's the only day I was there all year this year. Usually I get over there and do a couple gym classes for Mr. Shibley. That's strike 2 on Bagnevsky. He reached on an infield hit and stole second, but did not score in the first. He's playing second base today. And he swings and misses. Podest is now retired. 9 straight batters, actually, if you go with that double play. So he's been cooking. But Preble still leads 1-0.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Will Coonert finishing up his warm-up tosses. Will Coonert finishing up his warm-up tosses as we get ready to start the bottom of the third. Preble on top, 1-0. It's going to be the bottom part of the order for the Raiders. Brendan Fortin, Eric Johnson, and then back to the top with Dylan Lindow. Fortin steps in hitting a respectable 272. So seen limited action on the year. Who's the head baseball coach at Concordia?
Eddie Morgan. He's also the Chinooks coach for the Northwoods team that's down there. We play at the same field in Capco.
Right,
so
right.
He,
and they also play the state tournament there in the
for WA
summer tournament, right?
Yep. So he's been there 4 years now. When I was a freshman, that was his first year with the program. So it's definitely taken a step in the right direction after the last 2 years now. I think we posted 26 wins last year.
I thought the biggest step was this year when they moved you to coach.
Maybe they had to do something with the 28 wins. I don't know. We got a lot of great guys down there, a lot of talent, and a great recruiting class coming in too. So we'll see if.
Do you get most of your kids from the Wisconsin area, or do you go down to Illinois?
We got a lot of Illinois kids. With Illinois not having a lot of state schools, so it's the last same pricing for public schools private schools that they have in Illinois, and just want to come to Wisconsin, I guess, to get out of state. So half our school is basically Illinois kids, and then
holy cow,
we'll have a lot of athletes too that'll come up and just be from Illinois. But for baseball, we don't particularly have a lot of kids from Wisconsin, surprisingly.
Huh, that's interesting. Fortin goes down swinging. That brings up the number 9 hitter, Eric Johnson. Eric catching today. Steps in hitting 265. Eric has scored 10 runs. Actually, he's drawn 11 base on balls, which is pretty good. Pops this one up. And the catch is made by the first baseman, Logney. And that's going to bring up Dylan Lindow. Lindow grounded to third his first time up. And he's not hitting 301 anymore. So he's in the high 290s.
See if they could get through Cooner the second time through, or get a couple runners on, a little pressure. First breaking ball right there.
Yeah, that was a dandy. Put that one on the inside part of the plate. Cooner coming with the fastball after the curve. Now what are you going to look for as a batter?
I'd say outside fastball, especially with the velo that he has. I wouldn't say they wouldn't go back curveball. We'll see. Change up maybe, I don't know. Unless he spike the fastball.
Yes. I'd stick with the fastball. And now fouls it back. Good hustle by our umpire. Matty Pfister and Sergey Molitor on camera tonight. Scott Maloff, our director. Eric Wiesman running graphics. Garrett Rivas doing the color, and I'm the play-by-play guy, Vin Scully.
There you go. Taking over from after he retired now.
The pitch is low. That makes it a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. There are 2 outs. Nobody's on. Coonert on the mound. He hasn't walked anybody, but he did hit Askelevich. And now he's got to walk. It'll be interesting to see if Coach Wright sends Lindow right away. Lindow has 10 stolen bases on the season.
I'd give it a shot. 2 outs. You got your top of the order coming through. good base runner on first base. Might as well get a runner in scoring position.
Right. I agree with you on all those points. Witter swings at the first pitch and pops it up on the infield, and making the catch over on the second base side is Griffin Summers, the shortstop. And we're at the end of 3 complete. Preble still on top, 1-0.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
Back at Wildwood Baseball Park, getting ready to start the 4th inning. We've had a Sal Parra sighting. On the stat sheet it says Sal Parra, center fielder, in Mexico on a family trip.
Got hurt the defense a little bit. Great center fielder. Coached
Yeah,
him for
he's got good speed.
2 to 3 years now, and definitely a good person to have on the outfield for you if you want to make some plays. So a little hurting probably for Coach Wright, but Ben Miller definitely a good replacement out there in center.
Jarrett Schelk is leading off. He's the number 3 hitter for the Prebles. He walked his first time, and Pottis starts him out with a pitch on the outside the strike zone.
See if Pottis could keep things rolling now.
Yeah, he's retired 8 in a row. Got a little ahead of myself last time he finished up the 3rd inning. He's only given up 1 hit. And that pitch is straight back. North is yet to get a base hit off of Kunert. The count stands at 1 ball and 2 strikes on Schelk. And a swing and a miss. Johnson tags him for the out. And that brings up Jaden Adrians.
Next up, number 34, the catcher,
Adrians is a pretty big guy, Garrett.
Definitely a big guy you want to have behind your plate as your catcher. Big body, probably good arm, a lot of power at the plate.
That looked like maybe a breaking pitch, eh?
Stick him off speed. Don't want to get the hands through on a fastball. Connect on a big hit here.
Pitch is on outside the strike zone. Adrian's hitting .270 on the season. Not sure if he fouled that one back or if Johnson just missed it, but goes as a strike. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. I don't know if you know Dennis Semp.
Yep, we had him.
Okay, you probably would have him.
2 times, 2-3 times this summer, or spring, I should say, down by us.
I was talking to him a little, well, it was probably a couple of weeks ago now, but he was saying that with the weather, at least for the high school schedule, they had so many games that needed to be made up that they started playing on Wednesdays, which usually is a sacred night for non-sports in high school.
Yeah, definitely. Crunch time, I guess.
Ball is hit out to right field. Yeager racing over, can't get it, but it drops foul. North catches a break there.
No, we had Dennis.
Now you guys play mostly double headers, right?
For conference on the weekends, yes, but
Okay.
we'll play single headers weekdays, usually Tuesday or Thursday.
And singles are 9?
Yep. Yep, everything's 9 except for
Doubles.
non-conference.
Double headers are 9 too?
If it's a double header conference games would be 9, but if it's
Okay.
a non-conference, they'd be 7.
All right, okay. And if they're, which they do, doing stats, what is the pitcher's ERA based on, 7 or 9?
Oh, 9.
Yerk, a little shaky on the catch, but he made it. And there are 2 outs now in the 4th. And Podest is on a roll. 8, 9, 10 in a row. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in a row. Yeah.
Getting ahead early in the count's going to help him out a lot. You know, in the first 2 batters, he walked them, and then obviously the bunt, which didn't help his cause, but jumping ahead's going to help him definitely decrease the pitch count and putting a little stress on the batter.
Will Kunert, the Preble pitcher, is up now. Just to be straight, Will Kunert is no relation that we know of anyway to Andy Kunert, the coach. Andy coaching down at 3rd right now. Will pitching a no-hitter so far. Podest painting the outside corner with that pitch. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Garrett, you're doing JV Legion again this summer?
Yep, going to be going back. I think either JV or who knows, I don't know, coach is talking, maybe pair me up with past South catcher Alex Fudner. Yeah, I guess he's coming back to coach possibly, so I might
He
be
was a
teaming up
great
with him.
guy. Really liked him.
Yeah, great defensive player. He was a great kid overall too, so we'll see what we do. Might be with JV, who knows, what coach places me, but it'll be a good time.
Tommy Wright got fired? Mommy's sitting right next to us.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Diabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
You taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Garrett, please set me straight. Tommy Wright did not get fired from his Legion coaching job, did he?
Not so much. Could be taking some time off for
Glad
school.
to hear that. So is his mom. So what's he doing?
Could be finishing up school in Oshkosh for some summer classes. So he's taking the year off coaching. I was his assistant for the last 3 years now, so it'll be a little bit of a change, but...
Oh, yeah, for sure. Kind of get used to working with one another.
Yeah, definitely bouncing ideas back and forth and game decisions, but I'm sure I'll have no problem adapting with new coach I'll be paired with, or who knows, Coach Dallin, great guy. So
Chad?
Yeah.
Chad did Legion coaching before, and I think he was longtime high school baseball coach, the Holstein some of the time.
Yep, I think they went to state, I want to say, a couple years ago too under him, possibly.
Okay,
or
right.
Maybe, I know they went deep in the playoffs. So
he's a great guy too. He's a really easy guy to work with, I would think.
Yep.
Jacob Nazy stepping in. Jake struck out back in the first inning. See if he has a little more success with Kunert this time around. You'd think the hitters would have a little more success this time around, being the second time.
You would hope get their eyes adjusted for the fastball. If they start breaking in more of the breaking pitches, that's when it's going to be starting screwing with the batters. But got some good hitters on the team, so hopefully they make some adjustments and knock a couple runs in here.
The first time I heard this saying about pitching was from Nazy swings at a high pitch and misses for strike 3. Was from Tom Fogel when he was a Legion baseball coach, and he said the best pitch in baseball is strike 1. You ever hear that before?
Definitely have heard that many times through the years, and one of our pitchers down in Concordia actually always just praised that. So
really,
a lot of he's a all the bullpen kind of guy, so big reliever jumping ahead in the counts, and kind of preached that to. He was 2 or 3 years older than I was, so we definitely been passed around when I've been playing down there. But I don't know, it's a good saying to live by, especially as a pitcher, and that mindset of getting ahead in the count.
I agree there. Askelevich is up now for North. He took the first pitch right down the middle for a strike. He wasn't very happy about that, but he took that last pitch out of the strike zone. The count is even at 1-1. North still looking for their first hit. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Preble on top, 1-0. 2 balls and 1 strike. And that pitch outside for ball 3. Kunert walked his first batter back in the 3rd with 2 outs. He walked Dylan Lindau. Looping base fly ball to center field, but coming over and making really a pretty nice catch there was Schelk, Jared Schelk. I thought that was going to drop in, Garrett.
A little slice on there, but I think the wind's going to be hanging it up for a while. The wind's not really blowing out to do much, so a little tough day hitting here in Wildwood, but friendly pitcher's park to say the least.
Yeah, wind looks like it's blowing basically from left to right. Weston Yerk is the next hitter. Weston popped up to the first, actually hit a soft line drive to the first baseman back in the 2nd inning. Couple outs here in the 4th inning. Preble has had North's number. They shut him out on Tuesday 5-0, and they're shutting him out tonight 1-0. We mentioned Yerk hitting over 300 on the season. He's a good one. Any kids on North or Preble that you know of that the Concordia coach is looking at?
Not so much. I've been throwing Sheboygan North guys' names around for the past couple of years now. I've been coaching with them and trying to get them on the radar, but I don't know if they really look into the Green Bay area too much either for Preble. But mainly they go down to a lot of the showcases down in Milwaukee and at the hitters complex that they have down there, and a little bit I know our assistant coach was down in Chicago a couple weeks ago, so I don't know if they ever go up to Appleton or anything like that. I'm not sure, but not that I knew of this year so far.
At the end of 4 innings of play, Preble still on top, 1-0. We'll be right back.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Sean Logney. He had a pinch hitter, number 26. Casey Razor is batting for Logney. Takes that first pitch outside. Check your lineup there, Garrett. See what grade Casey's in.
He's a junior this year.
Okay. Well, Casey takes a pitch for a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Casey pinch hitting for Logney. Fouled straight back. Well, we got Raisiner. Got a lot of at-bats. Hitting 293. Casey's got his playing time through the course of the season. Checks his swing, but not enough. It's a strikeout for Pottist. We had mentioned earlier in our broadcast that the WIAA seedings have come out. North garnered a number 6 seed and will play Slinger at home on May 30th. And look for that. We will not be broadcasting that game. One we're trying to get a crew for, and hopefully we'll do it, is WIAA tournament game between North and South in girls softball. And if you've been following our broadcast this spring, we've had a couple of good games. Garrett, the last North-South game was really outstanding. North was winning 4-1, looked in great shape till South scored 2 in the bottom of the 6th to make it 4-3. And then they came up in the bottom of the 7th, scored 2 more and won it 5-4. Walk-off base hit by Helen Flynn won it for the Lady Red Wings. So we're hoping we can get a crew and do that game. That's they've been very competitive. South won the first game also. That one not quite as close, 7-1. Courtney Mangan, who started on the mound for the Lady Red Wings, had 2 home runs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good performance.
Yep. And they, I think, were a 7 and an 8 seed, or would have been an 8 and a 9 seed. I think it was 8-9. South getting the 8, so they get the home game. The game will be on the south side. And then the winner has to play the 1 seed.
Good luck with that.
Oshkosh, exactly. Ball fouled straight back. Griffin Summers, the shortstop. Count is even at 2-2. Takes me back to when I was coaching baseball at Chilton, Garrett. We finished the season with 1 win and 19 losses. It was a tough year. And another strikeout by Pottist. But playoffs were a little different then. There weren't quite as many teams, and they did it differently. They didn't seed. And we wound up getting a regional bye. So we went right into the regional final and won our 2nd game of the year.
As a regional
we made it,
final.
yeah. We made it to sectionals.
How about that?
And we won our first sectional game. Ball's fouled off. So we're playing for state with one regular season win. How special would that have been to make it?
Just got to get hot at the right times, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what everyone preaches right before playoff time, but that's pretty impressive to say the least.
It's a great story. Could always bluff a little bit and say, yeah, we made it to state, but we don't want to lie about it. That you could check out. Pitch is outside, evens the count at 1-1 for Matt Carwardine. Johnson giving it the old Olay and missed.
A little bit lazy behind the dish tonight. A couple pass balls the last few pitches here. Maybe get on the same page if they're a little miscommunication there between the two.
I remember in Little Leagues, catcher on the other team, the catcher came out to talk to the pitcher, turned around, started trotting back behind the mound. The pitcher took the ball and wheeled it through, hit him right in the back. You don't come out and talk to me unless I wave you out here. Thing was, they were pretty good friends too.
Is that so? Well, I guess you could do that then, though.
I'm not going to mention any names, but it was kind of an interesting situation. That pitch is in there for a strike. Count is full, 3-2. We have 2 outs. We're in the top of the 5th. It's still 1-0. Preble on top. Slow roller to Nazy, and he can't pick it up and throw. Garrett, what do you think?
I say you probably could have charged the ball a little bit harder. Maybe it looks like he kind of misstepped it, and that let the ball play him a little bit more than playing the ball, and obviously shows for the error.
Okay, Jacob, if you got any complaints about it going down as an E, talk to Garrett. I think it was an error too. I bet even Jacob thinks it's an error.
They'll help him Pottis out after he's been rolling the last couple innings, maybe.
Yeah, that's the first Preble runner to reach base since the first inning, and we're in the 5th now. Pottis with 5 strikeouts in the ball game and 2 walks. He's got a chance to strike out the side. Got the first 2 hitters. That first pitch to Renier is a ball.
Gonna attack the 9-hitter here before you get to the top of the order with
I hear
good
you.
hitting from Preble.
Good point. Actually, that's one of the reasons why it would have been so important to get Carwardine, because then you would have been leading off the 6th with the 9th hitter.
Yep, and get that possible easy out right there, depending how solid a lineup they are.
Yeah, that pitch, that foul ball went right off of Johnson's face mask, and that's why the umpire stepped out to brush off home plate to give Eric a chance to bounce back from that foul ball. That's your wake-up call, right, Garrett?
Just a little bit. A little surprise, I guess, for the battering ram back there for a catcher.
Count is even at 1-1. Pottis might have a future in college ball. He's only is he a junior this year?
Yep, he's a junior.
Swing and a miss. Johnson's throw is a little bit high. Carwardine steals second. One ball and 2 strikes on the hitter. Pitch outside. Got Nazy at third, Lindau at short, Witter at second, Weston Yerk at first. Askelevich in left, Miller in center, and Yeager in right. Count is even at 2-2.
Potts just has to focus on the hitter here. Don't worry about the runner. Been picking off a lot.
And a swing and a
Blew by
miss. Potts strikes out the side in the 5th, and at the end of 4.5, Preble's still on top, 1-0.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Kunert throwing pretty hard, Garrett. You can hear the pop up in our headsets.
Yeah, both him and Potts seem to bring some good velocity behind that pitch. Definitely shows in the hit column for North, but a little bit struggling with that.
Ben Miller steps in for the Raiders. Takes that first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Ben flew out to center field his first time up. And a good swing at that pitch, but came up empty. Kunert seems to be a little bit quicker maybe than he was in the early innings.
Yeah, definitely hearing the pop and emptying the gas tank the last couple innings here. Holding nothing back, probably pumping some adrenaline in there too.
Jackson Potts is up next. We haven't checked, what the pitch count is, but I got a feeling that Kunert's probably in very good shape. Same with Jackson Potts. By the way, once a pitcher hits 100 pitches, he can finish the batter, but then he's got to come out of the game.
Is that what it is?
Yep. I did a game earlier this year, and the pitcher had, I think, 28 pitches in the first inning, somewhere in the high 20s, and he had over 40 in the second inning. So, I mean, he was sitting at over 60, and his coach didn't let him finish the inning. He pulled him out, but it can get pretty ugly sometimes.
Yeah, especially, a lot of freebies with the walks and possibly some errors out there
Yeah,
in high
exactly.
school baseball. So it gets a little rough if you're a pitcher, if you don't get some good defense behind you.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Kunert with 5 strikeouts in the ball game. 1 walk. He did hit a batter. That was Askelevich, but he died at second. I thought So far in the ball game, the home plate umpires really had a good handle on the balls and strikes.
Definitely good. Not too many bad missed calls.
Slow roller. And nice play by Kunert to pick it up and beat Pottist to the bag for the out. Brendan Fortin is up. Brendan is a DH. He's hitting for Ryan Yeager, the right fielder. We mentioned that Miller normally in right moved over to center because Para is on a family trip. What is the off-season regime for Concordia baseball?
Hitting the weight room really hard. I mean, we preach it. Basically, once we have a month of fall ball when we get to school in September, and after
is that
that,
within the team? You don't play other schools.
No, it's just inter squad play,
Okay.
and then until season starts, we're in the weight room doing bunch of work in there and agility training, conditioning. It's not just lifting weights, but it's the whole entire process. And I know we have a lot of stuff online that our strength coach posts, and that's what the guys will be using now in the summer. So it definitely shows a lot of home runs the last couple of years from the guys getting big from the year. We have a lot of juniors that have been starting now, and from them growing as freshmen and juniors now, it just shows in your stats. And everyone says, oh, it's the weight room that makes a difference. It talks for itself in stats and score, and as you play as a collegiate athlete, it's a big difference.
A little roller out in front of home plate was deemed a foul ball by the first base umpire. With the weightlifting, how important is it to remain flexible, and is that part of the weightlifting process?
It definitely is. We have a good instance of that. We had a pitcher that came in as a freshman, and he was throwing probably mid to low 80s, and he got really big, put on probably 15, 20 pounds, and now he's barely throwing 80, if that, because his flexibility is so bad, and he's had a couple arm problems over the last 2 years now, so it has its pros and cons, but you definitely have to do the flexibility aspect of it also when you increase the mass of the weights when you're lifting. So
Kunert sets him down in order in the fifth, and we're through 5 complete innings. Preble still on top, 1-0.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
As we start the 6th inning, it's going to be the top of the order for the Preble Hornets. Wagner, Bagnevsky, and Schelk, pardon me. Wagner is 0 for 1. He walked and scored in the first. That's the only run in this ball game so far. Pottis still on the mound for the Raiders. Pitching a good one. Kunert doing him a little better, however. Pottis has 6 strikeouts. Wagner's a good guy to keep off the bases. He's got good speed and stole a base back in the first. Ball hit out to right field. Yeager back, misplayed that one. It's going to go for extra bases. Wagner will pull up at second with a double. Ball should have been caught.
Definitely looked like a routine pop fly for Yeager out there in right, but little mistakes that probably feeds on and makes them a good team here. We'll show for making some runs in the inning at least. See what Pottis could do and show him down hopefully.
Ignevsky is up. He singled, infield single back in the first and struck out in the fourth. Pardon me, struck out in the second. Pitch bounces in, it gets by Johnson, and Wagner moves over to third on the wild pitch. Well, Garrett, you think well, Coach Wright has the infield in. Is that what you'd do too?
Yeah. He called doubles, so you know first and third both will be charging here. If the coverage is the same from when I played. You gotta prevent that run from scoring right now, depending well, you can tell with how poor of offense of North Side so far this game. Gotta limit the runner.
Ben Miller, the center fielder, is off to the right side playing for the hitter not to pull the ball. Left and right field are pretty much straight away. Infield, like we mentioned, is in on the grass, trying to cut the runner down at third. Ball bounces in and away from Johnson, but Wagner will hold at third base. Count stands at 3-1 on Bagnevsky. Oh, smells good up here all of a sudden. There were 4 pieces, there's 4 people up here. If that was us, we'd share our pizza.
I would be
cry.
Sharing it.
Big time. Oh well. Ball is fouled off out on the New Jersey Avenue. Count is now full, 3-2.
See if Pottis could help his cause here and get a punch out.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you about, Garrett, and we were talking about training, but let's wait until after this pitch. With all the off-season things that the baseball team does, and I'm sure it's pretty much like that across the board with the other sports, how hard is it for a college athlete to do 2 sports, let's say baseball and football, or baseball and basketball?
One kid I graduated with, well, no, he's done playing sports this year. He's a senior sports eligibility-wise, but he still has some school left. But he was a football player and also baseball, so 2 sports, and it's just a whole bunch of work. Obviously, as a Division III athlete, you want to focus on your schooling first. But
right.
The kid is a freak athlete on the field, on the ball field, football field, and also in the classroom. He's just a beast. But you got to really discipline yourself of knowing how much is too much at that level of being just one sport is so much commitment, but to play a whole different sport in 2 different seasons is just so overwhelming. But props to the people that could do that and also pulling a good grade point average off in school. So
yeah, that's the other thing, the grades. All right, Bagnevsky walked. It's first and third, nobody out. Pottis makes a move to first, but Bagnevsky is back. Wagner still holding tight at third. Schelk is now up, the number 3 hitter. Walked and struck out in the ball game. As you watch Pottis make his move to first, is he getting pretty close to a balk?
It's so hard to tell from this angle, at least for us, but I don't think it's too fooling for a base runner. Doesn't have the great lefty move that a lot of pitchers maybe you might work for and get a good pickoff every now and then. But
oh, who was that guy? He'd almost let guys get on base so he could pick them off. He actually played for Howard's Grove a couple of years ago. He's actually going to transfer from St. Norbert's to Lakeland next year.
Olson?
This kid's, I can't remember his first name. His last name is Fritz. His dad is actually the principal out in Howard's Grove. But he was a lefty with a great move.
Played for Norbert's.
Well, I don't know that he played a whole lot. He would only been a freshman.
This year?
Might have been a sophomore this year.
I don't recall.
Okay.
I remember we played, I forget what school it was. We played, I think his last name was Olson. He was a lefty from Howard's, but I don't recall anyone else.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Of the balls that Pottis has thrown outside the strike zone, that high, wide pitch to a right-handed batter seems to be the most common ball that he's thrown all game. Not quite finishing. Pitch is popped up behind home plate. Johnson coming back to the screen, but it's in the bleachers. Foul ball. There's just one little opening between those bleachers, and that's where the ball went. So it's sitting underneath the stands. Schilk has a 2-2 count. There's nobody out. Preble leads it 1-0. We're in the top of the 6th, and they have runners on 2nd and 3rd. And he swings and misses at a pitch outside the strike zone. Big strikeout for Pottis.
Especially being the 3-hitter for Preble. Got to have that discipline and obviously be your best hitter on your team, but that's a big break for North and keep it rolling for Pottis.
That was the 7th strikeout for Jackson. And that brings up Adrians. Adrians is 0 for 2, grounded to short and popped to first. You guys, I know you said you played at a facility in Arizona that used to be a minor league or a spring training park. Have you guys ever played at a major league park? Ever had that opportunity, like at Miller Park, maybe?
No, we haven't had that opportunity. Not that. I don't think last year we didn't. I think UWM is usually. I think they play a game or two at Miller Park. Pretty sure, but we haven't had the opportunity yet. Not so much. We played at their. At the complex we played at in Tucson, they have the big minor league or the major league field. That's still their big stadium. So we did play 2 games there this year. That's where Randy Johnson hit that dove that came flying across.
Yeah,
that's
right.
the same park that we played at.
Okay.
So it's definitely kind of a weird experience. We were a week away from like the 10-year anniversary of that happening or something like that when we were down there. So it's kind of a cool instance for the team, but it was definitely a good time.
All right, Chris Wright pulling Jackson Pottis from the mound and bringing in Brent Witter. Witter's seen pretty much action on the mound. He's got 8 2/3 innings, given up 6 runs and 10 hits. He does have 9 strikeouts, however, and 2 saves. Well, he won't get a save today, but if he could prevent Preble from scoring anymore, it sure would give North a better opportunity to tie it up and maybe take the lead. Pottis finishes 5 1/3 innings, only gave up 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. We'll have to wait and see on the runs allowed. He's responsible for the runners at 2nd and 3rd. Like I said, we don't know, Garrett, the pitch count situation, but Jackson had great success with Adrians. You know, kind of looking forward to him seeing that hitter.
Yeah, you never know if maybe it was at the limit or if they're trying to save him maybe for the games at the end. Maybe this weekend. How much?
They
well, no, he wouldn't be able to pitch now until
no, not until
Tuesday.
not for. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Maybe Ellen can help us out here. I heard tomorrow night's game is a 7 o'clock start. It's a non-conference game. I believe the JV game is going to be played at 4:30. Varsity follows. So they do have a game tomorrow. Jaden Adrian's the catcher is up. We mentioned he's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Only 1 out. Preble with runners on second and third. And they lead in the score.
Intentionally walking him.
Intentionally walking him.
Potts is also at first base now with Weston Yerk moving to second.
Okay, interesting move there. Good pickup. That's why you're up here. Will Kunert with a chance to help his own cause. Will grounded to first and struck out. A great opportunity for him to build on the 1-0 lead. Witter has to throw strikes. Oh, he clipped him on the shoulder. Kunert will go to first. Everybody advances a base, and it's another run for Preble. That's not too bad of a way to drive in a run. A little clip on the shoulder, Garrett.
Grazes the jersey. It's the easiest way. That's tough break for North right there.
Casey Razor is up. Razor came in and pinch hit in the 5th. Went down on strikes. Still only 1 out. Bases remain loaded. Witter, ball hit to left. It drops in for a hit. And Preble going station to station will score 1 more run. I think that was our first line drive base hit to the outfield.
Pitching's been pretty on point today, to say the least. Limiting hitters to good pitches to hit.
Griffin Summers, the shortstop, checking into the batter's box. He's 0 for 2. Pitch is outside. Preble on top 3-0. They just scored 2 here in the top of the 6th. Another pitch outside. 2-0. One out. Double play ball would sure look sweet. There's a pitch right down the middle.
Gotta have that anticipation here. It's a 2-0 count. Doesn't throw many strikes. Should be a disciplined hitter attacking a good fastball, especially with the bases loaded here.
Do the Concordia coaches have their batters taking many pitches?
Not so much the last couple of years. We've kind of had the mentality of a aggressive mindset. A lot of 1-0 and 2-0 will be green light, and coach really rarely gives the take sign.
Okay.
So we're kind of
But
more,
it's there if you
yeah.
want it.
Yeah. So we've, I don't know, at one point we were scoring, I think, like 8 runs or 9 runs a game. At one point our offense was just carrying. Well, granted, we still had a really good pitching staff to
Right.
go along with it to complement, but our offense was just rolling, so we didn't really want to change anything of the tactics that we're using. The aggressiveness was working.
That makes sense too. Pop up on the infield. Lindau coming over, makes the catch in fair territory. And all the runners have to hold. And back to your point about Lindau being one of the best fielders in the county, that he made it look easy.
A lot of speed behind there at short. get behind the ball, make some easy plays for him.
Matt Carwardine up. Matt is 0 for 2. He did reach on an error back in the 5th. Bases remain loaded, but there are 2 outs. Oh, pitch gets away, and another run scores.
Tough break for Johnson the last couple innings. A lot of work to that screen.
Yeah. Ball 1, runners on 2nd and 3rd, and the 3rd run makes it 4-0. And the way Kuhnert's been pitching, that's a pretty heavy load. Try and score 4 to even tie it. Another pitch up and in. Kuhnert's on 3rd, and his catcher, Razor, a pinch hitter, is on 2nd. Ground ball to short. Lindau makes the play over to Pottis. He's got the throw. Like he might have hurt himself, but that's the end of the inning, but not before the Hornets scored 3 more, and now it's 4-0. North trailing.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
The umpires walking from the Preble dugout over to the north dugout to give them some changes. And then, of course, the question comes up, is Kuhnert still on the mound pitching a no-hitter? You catch the number of the kid on the mound?
Pretty sure it is still Kuhnert. It's number 2.
Okay. Kuhnert is number 2, so he's still out there, yeah.
I don't see how he would take a kid out after he's throwing the no-no through 5.
And there's no way he's close to 100, I would think. We're ready to lead off the bottom of the 6th with Eric Johnson. That 3-run top of the 6th really hurt. Gave Kuhnert a long time to rest. Hopefully that'll throw him off a little bit. Get north into the hit parade. Score some runs. Is it okay to cheer for the home team?
I don't see a problem wrong with it.
You are for North, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That strike makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike to Eric Johnson. Eric 0 for 1. They haven't rolled the lineup over much, Garrett.
Not so much. Been going down in order, obviously. We had the 1 walk.
Yep. Up there. Lindau walked back in the third. That's been the only walk. And Askelevich reached on a hit by pitch.
Maybe they're taking some pitches here, trying to get that count up, but usually Johnson seems to be more of an aggressive hitter when I've coached him in the past, but watching some good pitches there.
Johnson couldn't catch up to that fast. That's strikeout number 7 for Kunert against that one walk. He's pitched an outstanding ball game. Lindau up, he's 0 for 1 with a walk. Bounces one to short. Summers boots it, picks it. Nice throw across to get Lindau by a step. Brent Witter now pitching is up next. Witter takes a curve that's up high. Got anything else lined up for the summer, work-wise, besides the Legion coaching position?
I'll be at Kohler & Company. I've worked there the last
Where?
3 years. Kohler & Company out in the generator plant out by Whistling Straits. But I've worked there the last 2 summers now. I'm just coming back for a third, trying to make as much money as I can for grad school.
I was actually a foreman out there for a few months.
Really?
Yeah, it's been that was a long time ago.
Where were you for that?
The Blockhouse. You familiar?
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
All right, another 1-2-3 inning for Kunert. North goes down at the end of 6 complete. It's Preble 4. North looking to put a run on the board. There you get a good shot. Good hustle by Witter. Nice replay, guys.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Entering the top of the 7th, Witter still on the mound for the Raiders, but Preble on top 4-0. Zach Rainier, 0 for 2, number 9 hitter, leading off. Count evens at 1-1. That picture right there is being taken by Sergei Molitor. That one by Matty Pfister. Graphics by Eric Wiesman. Scott Maloff, the director over at WSCS TV, is our director tonight for this broadcast. Garrett Revis doing color, and I'm Mike Martin doing play-by-play. I was just kidding about Vince Scully, Garrett. And a leadoff walk to the number 9 hitter. It's never a good thing. Wagner's up.
Third baseman, number 9, Matt Wagner.
Wagner is 1 for 2. He scored a couple of runs.
Definitely the guy you want to keep out the bases, but it doesn't help starting the inning with a walk, especially the 9-hitter. I'm going to say Coach Andy over there at third's probably going to play a little bit of small ball and try to get him over, getting our run across, and a little bit of insurance.
Pitch rides up and in. I noticed you've been to A's games, I'm sure, over the years, watch them play. It seems like that level of baseball with those college kids, there's very little small ball ever played. Is that the same case with Concordia? Do you guys bunt much? Line drive, base hit by Wagner. That had a nice sound to it.
I would say, well, I don't know. For the summer, I'd say it's just trying to get guys to stay in rhythm for their school and have a little bit of fun. So I don't know how much small ball you'd be playing in that. But for us, like I said before, we like to play aggressive, so Coach doesn't really give the guys a whole, or he doesn't want us to bunt, I would say.
Okay.
But we're more free swingers. But I mean, when it comes down to the situation, if we're not getting a lot of base hits, he will give you the bunt sign, and we obviously practice bunting a lot. That's one of our starting drills that we do in the beginning of practice. Will be a lot of bunting for probably 15-20 minutes. Go along with base running, but when we need to do it, we'll get the bunt down and get it running across.
All right, they got a pinch runner on at first base. We can't quite get his number unless, Garrett, your eyes are pretty good. So Wagner is, pardon me, Reiner is, well, Wagner at first base is out. He's taking a rest for a pinch runner. Bagnevsky is up for the Hornets. Runners on at first and second and nobody out. This might be a good spot to lay down a bunt.
Back pick at second.
Johnson's throw not quite in time. Good idea though. I would think a time to play small ball like with the Sheboygan A's would be in a playoff situation, you know, where you really just you want to win the game. It goes beyond now getting guys ready for their college season. Pitch rides up and in for a ball. It's 3-0. Starting to get away from the Raiders.
Witter's not helping the cause right now. Coming for relief to say the least, I guess. But definitely just need attacking. You can see him; he's missing a lot of up and into the righties, but making a little bit of adjustment and just have confidence in your stuff as a pitcher. It's the main thing. Probably didn't expect coming in and really feel it with how good Pottis was throwing, but gotta have that mindset every day.
That pitch is popped up behind home plate. Johnson coming over to the screen, but it bounces into the bleachers again. Full count to the batter. Preble on top, 4-0. North looking for a hit when they get up in the seventh. I can't remember. Whoa, they got him.
Oh, no.
He can't pick up the ball, and a runner advances to third base. That hurts.
That's a tough break for the Raiders right there.
Green played for North last year. I think he was a senior.
Peter
Green.
Yep.
I believe it was a JV tournament game here at Wildwood, and I was behind the plate. He pitched a no-hitter.
Yeah.
That was about 3 years ago, maybe.
Yep,
yeah, you'd have been here.
Yeah,
you're the coach.
That was when we were
That was a great job umpiring, don't you think?
Definitely. Sure.
He made it easy that game, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he was a pretty dominant pitcher at the JV level.
Bouncing ball to Nazy, and it's ruled a fair ball. And Preble has another run on a base hit. There you see it. Try to pick it up. I don't think you'd have got the runner anyway. But North calling a timeout. Chris Wright coming out to talk to the troops. That's one thing about baseball, Garrett. You know, you may be not the better team, but you may have the better pitcher, and that's the equalizer.
Definitely helps, especially at the high school level. And
we're not saying that about Preble, by the way. I'm just generally speaking.
Any day, any given day, a team could come out and just come out and trump the team. Like third-ranked Preble, and Jackson could have had a great game. He did have a great game, to say the least. Only what, 3 hits? Oh, 3 hits coming in the inning, 5 hits right now for the Hornets. But
well, we got the totals now. Jackson only gave up 2 hits and 2 walks with 7 strikeouts.
He's gonna be able to put the bat on the ball in key situations to help out the team, and just the clutch hitting makes a difference.
Askelevich is going to come in to pitch with a run in and runners on first and third. Witter goes 2/3 of an inning and didn't have a lot of success. Struggled. Gave up 3 hits and 3 runs so far. 2 runs so far. When does the Legion season start?
Technically, we can't really be with the guys until after each of their spring seasons are done.
Okay.
But then for the younger JV freshmen, I think we'll be starting, I want to say maybe in a week or 2. Usually, once I get back from school, it's usually that's what it is. Coach Goes will kind of get stuff rolling right after he's done coaching at the JV level, and he'll start getting stuff assigned for the Legion team.
So right around the corner, basically.
Yep, not so much of a break for the guys that are playing varsity, but it's kind of a good thing for keeping your mojo rolling into this the summer team. But don't really want to get that break.
Yeah, right, exactly. Jarrett Shelkup, he's 0 for 2 with a walk. Askelevich on the mound now. Runners on at first and second. A run is in for Preble. They now lead 5-0. That was the score they won by on Tuesday night. Bouncing ball to short. Lindau to second for 1. Relay to first, not in time. It's the first out of the inning.
Trying to limit the damage here. Double play would have been a key factor. Saw it earlier in the game with the key double play to get all the bases loaded. Jam, not so much in this situation.
Adrians is up. He's 0 for 2. He was intentionally walked back in the 6th and scored. And Schelk has an easy time of it, stealing second base. Five to nothing, Preble on top. Ball is hit foul onto New Jersey Avenue. The Hornets scored in the top of the first and had a 1-0 lead until the 6th when they added 3 more runs. And now they've tacked on another one here in the 7th. I know you're not supposed to talk about it, but since it's the other team's pitcher, Cooner has a no-hitter going.
Big, good old pitcher's duel to start off the first couple innings of the game, to say the least. But
we don't know if Coonert's the best pitcher on Preble, but he was their best pitcher tonight.
They did have someone warming up in the pen before. Whoever came off the pinch run, they did have that guy warming up. So let's see if
let him finish up,
Cooner
right?
would come out, yeah. Depending on the pitch count. Like you said before, I don't think he's at 100.
But I was going to say then with Pottis and Cooner, the 2 best pitchers from each team, Nazy couldn't come up with that hard ground ball, and looks like Preble is going to score 2 more. And on the throw home, Adrian's goes to second. There you get a replay of it. Johnson not thrown down. Will Kunert. Josh Nichols is coming in to pinch run for the catcher.
Got pitch and change. Number 3 for North.
Yeah, we know that guy. That's Cade Fredrickson. Cade's a good guy. Long, lanky left-hander. I like those left-handers.
Hard to come by these days.
1, 2, 3. Askelevich only faced 2 hitters. Did get an out. Oop. I've got him for 6 hits. Preble. They have 3 in this inning already. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 hits. Yep. It's been a tough go for the Raiders these last 2 innings, Garrett. We don't have enough stories to tell. All these pitching changes.
Well, I can say that the last time that we were being no hit when I played for Coach Wright, we actually were playing number 4 ranked Bayport up at their place, and we wound up winning the game in 9 innings. Even though despite we were being no hit.
Really?
We still wound up winning.
Scored a run without a hit, huh?
1-0. Good old Andy Seymour was pitching for us as a sophomore. Maybe no, that was when he was. Yeah, I think that's when he was a sophomore. First time, big game for him. Did well. Wind was blowing in, so a lot of pop flies for us in the outfield and limited the hitting.
Here we got a pinch hitter for Kunert. It's number 15, Bryce Miller. Now I got a feeling that Miller's going to pinch hit and then he'll be done. Kunert will come out to finish the 7th. First pitch is swung on and fouled back. Couple of 3-run innings in the 6th and the 7th, and Preble's not done yet. They still have a man on second and only 1 out. Pitch in the dirt gets by Eric Johnson. Did you ever tell us what you're going to be doing out at the generator plant? What your job is?
I'm a large enclosure. I work in large enclosures for we're like the last part of the line for D-line generators, and then we put on like the house of the generator basically, and then we'll ship them out to the semis.
A good tag up and a score by the runner at third. That was Ben Navarre, and he did heads up. North didn't have home plate covered on that pop-up catch, and Fredrickson was a little late getting there. So I guess you have to give Miller a sac fly, huh?
Guess so. A little bit of a heads up there on third base and a little bit of a mental error on the pitcher's
When was the
mound
last
there.
time you saw a sac fly to the catcher?
I don't know if I've ever seen one before, to be honest. Man.
Think that'll make it into the press tomorrow morning?
Hope not.
Razor, I don't believe this is Razor. No, we got another pinch hitter. Maybe it is Razor.
No, this is a big lefty. Razor's the 26.
Yeah, right. And I was looking for 30. Isn't this guy 31? Okay. Logney's back in on the re-enter rule. Now, you guys don't have that in the college level, do you?
Nope, we don't got re-entry or anything like that. Once you're out, you're out. Except for you could...
And DH can only DH for the pitcher?
Yes. You
Okay.
can insert your DH into a fielding position if you want, but that's just a whole mess for your lineup of inserting another player, but not too many teams do that.
Okay. So it's more American League baseball.
Yep.
Okay. It's going to be 3-2 pitch to the hitter Logney. Preble on top now 8-0. They've scored 3 and then 4 runs in the 6th and 7th. This kid takes a healthy cut.
Might as well got re-entered back in the game and with no one on.
Show him what you got. Can you wear regular baseball spikes over at Capco?
Yep, we got like, well, I guess the whole field is turfed, and then we can wear whatever we want for spikes. Then we actually have a actual pitcher's mound. It's not turfed or anything like that. So
dirt.
Yep. But then we use like, I don't know what the A's have, but it's kind of like the same. We use like a clay mix in too, so it kind of solidifies the dirt instead of it being torn up a lot. So, but it doesn't take a damage or anything like that. With the clay, I haven't seen a difference compared to what we have here at Wildwood.
But home plate is turf too?
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely a big switch coming from high school to college ball, to say the least. But I mean, that's one of the main attractions that we get for a lot of our recruits coming in, is we get to play at one of the top facilities basically in the Midwest. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. Quinn Williquette was pinch hitting, and he took one to the arm, batting for Summers. It's on the hard way. It's been a nightmare the last 2 innings, to say the least.
Wheels falling off a little bit here for the Raiders. Had a good ball game going. See if they actually could have competed a little bit and get a couple of runs across, put a little pressure on them. But
Colin Doherty pinch hitting for Carwardine, pardon me. Can't read your writing. Got to blame it on somebody. It's not my fault.
I don't have the greatest penmanship, to say the least.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's a lot better than mine. Ball is hit out to center field. Miller retreats back and now comes in and makes the catch, and that's the end of the inning, but not before Preble tacks on 4 more runs, and as we enter the bottom of the 7th, it's 8-0 Preble. We'll see if Kunert can finish off his no-hitter.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Hey Gabby, how you doing? How's the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming. We're going biking. Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you.
Hi, babe. How was school today?
Hi, Dad. It was great.
Okay, honey. I'll be home soon.
Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
We're back at Wildwood Park, getting ready to start the bottom of the 7th. The big story in the game is Kunert's, Will Kunert, the starting pitcher for Preble, is tossing a no-hit shutout. He's been outstanding with 7 strikeouts, only 1 walk. He did hit a batter, but been mixing up his pitches, and I think you mentioned it early on, he's throwing strikes.
Yeah, well, especially with his velocity that he's been coming with, and it's hard to pick up when he starts mixing that curveball, especially with the north hitters. Obviously, it shows in the hit column. See if we could get a little magic here. A little couple runs across. We got Nazy leading us off here.
Yeah, middle of the order here, Nazy, Askalevich, and then Yerk. All 3 of them started the night hitting over 300. Ball is fouled straight back. Nazy right on that pitch.
Just missing it, just a hair underneath.
Curveball is up high. The umpires in the stands are questioning that call. I think they're all from Green Bay. Pitch a little bit outside. It's 2-1. Overthrowing the last couple of pitchers, Garrett, don't you think?
Kind of looks that way, like he's aiming to throw a strike here, just let it fly. Especially with how much success he's had the last couple innings.
Nazy, it's a good rip at that fastball. It makes the count full. It's 3-2. Jacob leading off the bottom of the 7th. It's been all Preble tonight. And he strikes out. Looked like he might have taken a little bit off of that pitch. Hard to tell. You'd know better than me.
I didn't think he did. I think Nazy just swung right through it, being a little bit of an outside pitch, but just got attacked early on the right fastballs.
Well, if North is going to break up the no-hitter, I think Askalevich is their best bet here in the 7th. That was strikeout number 8, by the way, for Kunert. Another pitch right on by a North batter, but they couldn't barrel it up. Right through the middle. Second baseman trying to make the play, can't do it. It goes as a base hit. Askalevich breaks up the no-hitter with 1 out in the 7th.
It's a tough break there for Kunard, who's pitched one great game, but dominating performance to say the least for the Preble pitcher.
See if he can work off the effects of that base hit and continue to pitch his game. With 1 out, Askalevich on base again. He reached earlier in the ball game on a hit by pitch. Thanks again for sticking around and helping me out. Bouncing ball to second.
Oh.
Ball is dropped at second base. And now North has runners on first and second.
A little bit better way of watching the game, I guess. staying into it.
Yeah.
Being able to help out, give a hand every now and then.
You add a lot to the broadcast. Got the inside dope on Concordia.
Spread out the name.
Hey, I was going to ask you too, you're talking about the turf baseball field. Do they have a turf football field too?
We do. All of our outdoor facilities are all turf. So we have our football field, and then we also have a soccer field which is shared for our lacrosse team as well.
Okay, all right.
So all of our...
You heard about Lakeland is
going
to be installing
football field, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
They've had a pretty good program last couple of years. You know, that's been our...
I saw where their record-breaking wide receiver is getting a tryout with a pro team.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been pretty dominant the last years. I know when I first got to school, they were... Well, we were... we won a conference my freshman year, but we had All-American quarterback and wide receiver, and ever since they've left the program, it's been a little downhill for us. So
hard to replace those kinds of players.
Lakeland's been dominating the Cheese Bowl. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Swing and a miss by Miller evens the count at 2-2. We have one out, runners on at first and second. Askelevich reached on a base hit, the first hit off of Kunert in the ball game. Miller hits a line drive out to right field, but it just bounces foul. Missed by about a foot.
It's a good approach by Ben, going with the pitch, knowing Kunert's been throwing outside fastball the whole game. It's good discipline, not rolling it over. The third base shortstop.
Got 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's one out. Mentioned there's runners on at first and second. Pitch on the outside corner for strike 3. Strikeout number 9 for Kunert, and that brings up Jackson Podest. You mentioned Jackson came in only hitting 185, but he did have 12 RBIs. Another great opportunity for him to add to that. Base hit could get Askelevich in, hopefully.
Yeah, just got to square up that fastball. We've seen it. The first couple of batters missed it, but if he gets one, especially with the 1-0 count right now, if you send fastball dead red.
There it was.
Big rip and right back to the fence again. It's a tough break.
Anthony Call Alvarez waiting on deck. He's hoping to get up to bat. Curveball is up high. Makes the count 2-1. 2 outs.
Kunert emptying the tank. You're getting a little wild.
I like that, emptying the tank. But it doesn't look like he's running on fumes yet.
No, not so much. Better let it all fly now, knowing he probably won't be able to pitch till what, next weekend with the new pitch limit. So might as well give it all your stuff right here.
3-1 to count. Podest takes that one right down the middle. That was the pitch to hit. 3-2. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 10 for Kunert. And Preble runs their conference record to 16-0 with 1 week left. And they are the conference champs, even with those 2 games remaining. Garrett, your perceptions of Preble?
I mean, it helps when you come in knowing that you are the better team with the 3rd rank right next to your name. So it's kind of a big thing with that mentality of, oh, I'm going to come in and win. But their pitcher just came out showing his stuff, and obviously shows on the scoreboard with the 1 hit, and great overall performance by being one of the best teams in the state.
All righty, with that, I want to thank the crew for their great work. For my partner, Garrett Rivest, I'm Mike Martin saying thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you down the road. One more time, Preble a winner, 8-0.